Hey, this is Dan, and in this video, I'm showcasing some of the highlights of projects I worked on at Mixergy. The first two clips are course introductions, which you see at the top of each course. What I have to do is write and edit and animate and do the voiceover for these 45-second to 1-minute long introductions to set up the course for the viewer. The next two clips after that are course trailers, and they are featured online and shared in different spots to promote the courses. Again, they're about 45 seconds long, and once again, they are written and animated and edited and voiced by myself. After that, there are 3 course excerpts. They are clips, some highlights from the master classes that I've done. And in each case, the instructor is telling some kind of story or explaining a concept. And my job there is to help visualize that story using some animation, using some B-roll, using some kind of digital trickery, which is always a lot of fun to try to tell the story and get the point across. So hope you enjoy. When you want more leads and customers, many entrepreneurs turn to the usual strategies. Create more content, hire more salespeople, spend money on some ads. And while these tactics may ultimately produce some results, they can take months to work and they cost more than you care to spend. But Bryan Harris, the founder of Growth Tools, wants us to consider this. You're not the only business owner in this situation. Other founders and influencers want to build their audience too. So why not work together? By forming a partnership, you and other entrepreneurs with similar interests and audiences could drive new leads to each other and create the value customers crave for very low cost. So in this masterclass, Bryan will explain multiple ways to create these partnerships, the steps you need to follow to make them work, and how to create win-win scenarios for you and fellow partners. When you create a product or service, 2 big questions will cross your mind. Will people like it? And will people buy it? For entrepreneurs, it's easy to focus on the financial concern because revenue and cash are essential to grow your company. But even if you get your product in front of lots of people, the question of will people like it becomes supremely important. User experience and happiness will determine if your users remain as paying customers and recommend you to their friends. This is something Sharon knows a lot about. He's the author of Validating Product Ideas and the head of user research and metrics at Goldman Sachs. For years, Tomer has been helping entrepreneurs and their design teams better understand user behavior and experience. And in this masterclass, Tomer will explain his process for how to measure product experience and improve user happiness. So by the end, you'll know where to focus your efforts to grow your customers and delight them as well. In 2014, search engine DuckDuckGo was handling over 100 million searches per month. Just 5 years later, it was over 1 billion. How did they achieve this explosive growth? Getting traction was their secret, and it's a strategy you can use as well. In this masterclass, DuckDuckGo founder Gabriel Weinberg explains how to find customers across various channels, where to concentrate your efforts, and when to switch channels to help your company grow. Look for this class on Mixergy Premium today. If you've ever thought about selling something online, you may have considered Shopify as a solution. Well, with this masterclass from consultant Kurt Elster, he'll cover the steps he's used to help his clients launch and improve their stores, how to choose the right theme, understanding analytics, incorporating Shopify apps, and how to grow your customer base from 1 to 100 to 1,000 and beyond. Look for this course on Mixergy Premium today.
When we ignore our emotional life, we ignore a really important set of data that tells us how we're doing. It's kind of the most easily trackable metric, so to speak. So one thing that I have almost all of my consulting clients do at some point or another is to, at the end of each workday, simply track what was their high point and what was their low point. Just write the 2 sentences. High at the end of your workday, low at the end of your workday. Collecting that information over the course of time gives you really valuable data around where in your business you are thriving and what parts of your business are sort of like sucking your soul out through your nose like a dementor. Because the parts of you that thrive are the parts that you want to foster. And the parts of you that feel like, wow, I'm really not doing well in this, I don't like this, that's the thing you want to hire out as soon as you have enough money to do it.
So all you're going to do is go through those reviews and read them looking for phrases that stand out. Sticky messages is what we really call that, and you'll know because you'll get stuck on them a little bit. They'll feel raw, they'll feel not polished. That's what you're gonna look for because that's where the best messages are. We found a phrase that read, if you think you need rehab, you do. And we were like, okay, that's interesting, it sounds true. And we hadn't heard it before, and we hadn't seen any competitors saying anything like that either. So we decided we copied that, we put it into memorable phrases. And then when we went through and looked at everything we copied and pasted in there, it still stood out as a phrase worth like working with. So we turned it into a homepage headline in a test, and it did. It beat the control as well as 2 other variations that were running against it by quite a number. I believe it was 400% more clicks on the button in the hero section. And even more, we got more than 20% lift in form completes on the next page. So 20% more leads, which is kind of a big deal. And all we did to find that message was read through some Amazon reviews.
Principle number 2, bad experiences are broken processes. So when I present to groups, usually I talk about bad Yelp reviews or bad experiences because everyone's had one. You've probably gone to a restaurant and had a terrible food and sent it back and it's terrible the next time. My example is usually when I first got my house, we have a pool at the house, and I had never had a pool service before, but they came out and they gave us a quote. We started paying, and then for months, no one showed up. And I didn't know. I was at work. I thought maybe they're coming, maybe they're doing some work. And slowly the pool was getting like green and disgusting. And so finally we called them and realized that they hadn't assigned a tech to our house. Even though we were paying, we weren't on the route. And so that bad experience for me was really a broken process for the company. They didn't connect their accounting to their service or field service scheduling systems. And that caused a bad experience. So in your business, think about where are the bad experiences, where are the customer complaints or employee complaints, because that's gold for your business. That's where you want to create some process and get to work with your teams.